300 U.S. troops have been assigned to the border after chaos ensued at the San Isidro port of entry.
After months of space travel, the NASA InSight mission successfully landed on Mars and is ready to explore.
USC's athletic director Lynn Swann has decided to retain football head coach Clay Helton. Students have strong feelings about the decision.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
The border crossing at San Isidro between Tijuana and San Diego reopened today. Good evening, I'm Nikki Walker.
And I'm Trevor Sochocki. Despite the opening, thousands of migrants are still camped out along the U.S.-Mexican border. The border agents are processing about 100 applications a day, but about 5,000 migrants are still waiting to file asylum cases. 300 U.S. troops were reassigned to the border today after tensions rose yesterday afternoon, and President Trump closed the port of entry at San Isidro. Today, President Trump threatened to once again close the border entirely. He tweeted, "Mexico should move the flag-waving migrants, many of whom are stone-cold criminals, back to their countries. Do it by plane, do it by bus, do it any way you want, but they are not coming into the USA. We will close the border permanently if need be." But lawyers say he could face legal challenges.
The law does say that there needs to be a process for people to make to pursue asylum applications. And so if the Trump administration were to try to just summarily close down border crossings, summarily prevent people from making asylum applications, that would be unlawful.
Professor Frenzen, also said if the president does take an unlawful action, it would be up to the courts to stop it.
Political leaders on both sides of this aisle are reacting to the confrontations at the border. Our political anchor, Albert Qian, tells us what they're saying. Albert?
That's right, Nikki. Democrats are outraged at the use of tear gas and how Trump is attacking those seeking asylum. Congresswoman Maxine Waters called it a humanitarian crisis.
Since I have no faith in this president, I don't believe that he is capable of doing the right thing. This is about politics for him. This is about his election in 2020. This is about the kind of games that he plays all the time.
Democrats have condemned the use of force at the border. Governor Gavin Newsom tweeted, quote, "These children are barefoot, in diapers, choking on tear gas. This is not my America." Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wrote, quote, "What if, instead of sending 5,000 troops to the border, we had sent 5,000 caseworkers to review and process visa applications?" Republican Senator Lindsey Graham tweeted, quote, "It's simple. We as Americans have the right to decide who gets to come into our country, not immigrants seeking to force their way in." Other than Lindsey Graham, not many Republicans have commented on the controversy. Back to you, Trevor and Nikki.
Thank you, Albert. Watch parties of space enthusiasts across the country follow live coverage of NASA's InSight spacecraft, finally landing on Mars. Everyone at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena cheered after waiting 7 anxious months for a successful landing. A planetary society says the spacecraft will provide a learning opportunity.
It's our chance to learn more about the universe, the solar system, and doing so learn more about ourselves as well. Literally, that means, as we understand the core of Mars better, which is what this InSight mission will do, is help us understand the seismology.
The last time a rover landed on Mars was in 2012. The current spacecraft is gathering information on seismology on the red planet. InSight will remain in place during the mission. NASA aims to send the next rover in to look over signs for life.
A couple of missions that are coming up in the future. So the next one is launching in 2 years. It's called Mars 2020, and it's a rover. It's going to specifically look for life on Mars. And it's also collecting samples of dirt.
Now that InSight has landed, NASA will keep a close eye on the spacecraft as it records sonogram of Mars interior.
Clay Helton will stay on as USC's head football coach, but most people are not happy about it. Sports anchor Keith Demolder is here to break down fan reactions and what this will mean going forward. Keith?
Athletic Director Lynn Swann announced that Clay Helton will return for his 4th season as USC's head coach. Trojan fans this season have not been quiet about their disappointment with his head coaching. During Saturday's game, fans even hired a plane to fly a banner over the Coliseum that read, "Lynn Swann, please fire Clay Helton." Some fans didn't even bother to go to games. The average attendance this season at the Coliseum was 55,449, the lowest since 1987. In fact, USC never cracked the 60,000 mark for any home games this year. Students voiced their opinions today about keeping Coach Clay Helton around.
I've just heard he really isn't that great, especially with his offensive play calling.
That he's just a horrible coach. You know, his rotations are really off.
He's only been around for 3 years, and so they had one bad season. But I think that if they stick with the team, they'll rally around him. And I think Lynn Swann's really excited. I think there's a lot of people really excited.
I think it was a very bad call on our football department. I just think that he's not a good coach at all.
In a statement released yesterday, Swann said, quote, "We agree that changes need to be made, and they will. Coach Helton has a plan in place to get USC back to the top." We'll have more later on in the show, including the results from our very own poll asking if Lynn Swann was right or wrong. Back to you, Trevor and Nikki.
Thanks, Keith. About 100 people in the USC community received phishing emails disguised as a message from a USC professor. These emails tried to trick recipients into buying gift cards over the Thanksgiving holiday.
It's really how can we stop it from spreading is the biggest thing that we look at. Because you're always going to have somebody click on something and do something. It's just the nature of humans where, we make a mistake and we click.
The IT director offers this security tip. If you have an unused email account, log into it and create a new password that's at least 16 characters long.
City and county leaders are preparing for the 2019 homeless count. Annenberg Media's Maddie Ottilie spoke to organizers about the need for volunteers.
There are nearly 53,000 homeless people living in LA County. We know this because each year, volunteers count each one.
And because we count you, we can care for you.
Mayor Garcetti says if the homeless don't get counted, LA won't get enough money from the federal government to help them. Today, public officials put out a call for the thousands of volunteers they'll need to conduct LA's 2019 homeless count in January.
It helps us allocate resources to those areas where the population is most in need.
LA County's homeless population went down in the 2018 count by about 4%. It was the first decrease in 4 years. Frank Thompson is a resident of a new affordable housing complex built using funds from LA's Measure H.
I've been homeless for 2 years, and now that I'm not, I can finally get my son out of foster care, and this is a step for me, great step.
But the number of homeless in LA County is still 33% higher than it was 5 years ago.
There are people out there that are lost in the hidden places in the cracks of Los Angeles, and it's important to go out there and seek these people so that they can get the help and the hope that they need.
You can sign up to volunteer for the count online. Visit theycountwillyou.org. Enter the zip code where you'd like to work and fill out this RSVP form.
Everybody sleeping on our streets is a person. They have a name. They probably at one point had a family. They have a story.
2019 results won't be available for several months after the January homeless count. For Annenberg Media, I'm Maddie Ottilie.
With Thanksgiving over, Christmas season is finally here. LA is getting in the spirit with a tree lighting in Grant Park tonight. Our reporter Gabby Gonta is there live. Gabby, what do you have for us?
That's right, Nikki. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas here in downtown LA. Now I'm in the middle of Grant Park, where the tree right behind me is going to be lit any minute now. I'm already with my Starbucks. They're giving these away for free while we wait. I talked to some Angelinos who say this is one of their favorite events of the year. Of course, we live in Southern California, where it's still 75 degrees and sunny into late November, but they say they can come here and automatically get into the holiday spirit. Some performances that we've already seen tonight are from Brass Pacifica. They're an all-brass instrument band, and the LA County High School for the Arts performed some Christmas carols. We've already heard from some speakers as well who say the lighting of this tree represents the unity of Los Angeles County. No worries if you couldn't make it out tonight. The tree is going to be standing right here in the shadow of City Hall until December 26th. Back to you, Nikki.
Thanks, Gabby. Well, gas prices in California have hit a monthly low, and drivers around USC are ready to capitalize.
A snowstorm in the Midwest delayed flights and is making travel even worse than usual.
Don't sleep on bookstores. Annenberg Media talked to the last bookstore in Los Angeles about a brick and mortar revival.
Hey, Sarah.
Oh my gosh, he's so cute. How do you know him?
Come on, Donovan, do it like I taught you. Love the new tattoo, Sarah. Let's go!
Dude, what? Dude, that's Sarah. The girl in the pink shirt. That's the girl I was telling you about.
Oh, that's Sarah?
Theater 2 on your left. Hey, Sarah. What color underwear today?
Hey, Sarah. So when are you going to post something new?
Anything you post online, anyone can see. Family, friends.
See you later, Sarah.
Even not so friendly people. Think before you post.
Why don't you pick up the phone? This is pissing me off. Nobody treats me like this, especially you. You do not want to get me mad. Number one, I told you not to go out. Number two, why haven't you called me back? Are you stupid or something? Call me back. I can't believe the way she's treating me, man. The way she treats you.
Speak up. Just because it isn't physical doesn't mean it's not abuse.
Gas prices in Los Angeles County have dropped for the 33rd day in a row. Annenberg Media's Taylor Elliott spoke to the drivers about what this means for them at the pump.
The current average price for a gallon of gas in Los Angeles is $3.61. But some lucky drivers have found prices even lower around USC.
So I think $3.45 right now is pretty good.
Gas is nearly 20 cents cheaper than last month. One driver says the price at the pump has a big effect on his fuel consumption.
It depends on, like you said, the gas prices. If they're high, then I'm not feeling it as often as if it was lower.
Prices have decreased because the U.S. and other countries are producing more crude oil. Drivers are also driving less now than in the summer.
Drivers are seeing lower pump prices right now because of the relatively low demand during the month of December, and also the crude oil prices have been moving lower.
Gas prices may be dropping in LA, but they're still some of the highest in the country. The price for gas in California is $1 more than the national average.
You know, whether the prices are moving higher or moving lower, drivers can do very simple things to maximize their fuel efficiency. Make sure that the car or truck that you're going to be driving in is well maintained according to manufacturer recommendations. That includes those oil changes, checking the tire tread, and inflation.
Prices are expected to remain stable for at least the month of December. For Annenberg Media, I'm Taylor Elliott.
Well, Trevor, gas prices are lower. I'd say it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
It may look a lot like Christmas, but it's certainly not going to snow here in LA. But let's check in with the weather with our weather anchor, Draco Guan.
Hey guys, it's just another beautiful day with typical fall weather after the Thanksgiving break. We're looking at current condition at 68 degrees. It's just a very similar temperature like yesterday, and it doesn't really change much. As for tomorrow, we're looking at the mid-70s around the Inland Empire, and Big Bear is 56 degrees. And let's go north to the Simi Valley is 74 degrees, and Malibu along the coast is 68 degrees. Let's go back to our LA basin. USC is 58 degrees tomorrow. It's absolutely getting chiller, and as the low 70s and mid 70s around the entire region. But the big changes is coming on Wednesday. So the first of a couple storms will bring rains to the LA area starting on Wednesday night if we look at the 5-day forecast. As we're expecting the moderate to heavy rainfall into the end of the weekends. And as for the other side of the country, we're looking at the snowstorms. As the Thanksgiving week is over, but many Americans in the Midwest find it hard to get back home on time. At one point, more than 10 million people across the Midwest were under blizzard warnings. And a snowstorm from the Midwest is heading east. The storm has canceled more than 4,000 U.S. flights since Sunday, and 10,000 more were delays, turning the return from Thanksgiving into a travel nightmare. And some areas reported more than a foot of snow, with wind gusts in the central plains as high as 50 miles per hour and up to a hurricane force of 75 per hour. And travel conditions are expected to improve as the storm system moves into a slightly warmer northeast. So guys, it seems it's getting colder on both coasts. So be sure to order some clothes online since it's Cyber Monday.
Good call,
yes. It is Cyber Monday, you are right. Cyber Monday is one of the biggest sales days of the year. But this year, many stores have been holding week-long sales. This Cyber Monday is projected to break even more e-commerce records. In 2017, a record-breaking number of shoppers spent over $6 billion on Cyber Monday. This year, Cyber Monday is expected to set new records. Shoppers are projected to spend over $7 billion online.
Sales at independent bookstores are up 5% from last year, according to the American Booksellers Association. This holiday season, shoppers are looking to fill their bookshelves instead of their Kindles.
For some reason, I don't like ebooks. I don't feel, I don't know. I think it's...
You've probably seen the Last Bookstore on Instagram, but the store is also a haven for book lovers looking for a break from the digital world.
It's a lot easier to get distracted if you're reading on your phone or on a device and you get a pop-up notification on that screen telling you have a new text or somebody's liked your Instagram photo. So reading a book, like an actual physical book, allows you to do that with a lot fewer distractions.
So it turns out old-style books are back in style, just in time for those Cyber Monday sales. Students were back on Thanksgiving break, and that didn't mean a break from losing football games.
Unfortunately not. We now bring in our sports guy, Demolder, to update us on USC football.
Trevor and Nikki, Coach Clay is back, at least for now. We'll break down what that means for USC football. USC men's basketball, meanwhile, put on their Nikes for a track meet with the Roadrunners from Cal State Bakersfield last night. And women's hoops has hopped on the victory train as they ride a 6-game winning streak. Annenberg TV sports is next.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
迷惑ボーイ。ここはなんとかしなくちゃ。
スーパーカインドの交通機関案内。
When you ride on the bus or rail, don't eat popcorn, meat, or kale. Food can smell and it makes a mess. Keep LA Metro clean and fresh. Come along with me, let's go. It's time to ride on the Metro. When eating food causes problems, you know Super Kind will be there to solve them. Come along with me, let's go. It's time to ride on the Metro. When eating food causes problems, you know Super Kind will be there to solve them.
Athletic Director Lynn Swann pulled out his best Ben E. King impression and is standing by his man, Clay Helton. Despite the 5-7 record, Swann is confident in riding Helton's tenure out. In a statement from Swann released yesterday, Swann emphasized that, quote, "I am a strong advocate of consistency within a program, sticking by a leader, supporting them, and helping them and their team improve." Helton is here to stay, at least for now. But just because Lynn Swann has punched Helton's ticket doesn't mean that every Trojan fan is on board. Fans and former Trojans took to social media to express their support and disapproval. Former head coach Lane Kiffin simply tweeted a cryptic thumbs up at the decision. Former running back Lendell White put laughing emojis to the idea of Helton staying around as their head coach. Writer Josiah Johnson tweeted out a joke likening UCLA fans to a dancing Carlton from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And finally, writer Bruce Feldman said, "I know a lot of USC fans are clearly not happy about the news Clay Helton is staying on. I suspect if he makes a few strong staff hires, some of that will subside." And also taking a look at our poll on our Twitter page. Do you think AD Lynn Swann made the right decision in keeping Coach Helton? 60 votes in, 80% say no. Meanwhile, 20% say yes. So clearly the decision is not a favored one among USC fans. We now bring in an expert in Sam Skalbania. We're the Spud Buds. We're here on the couch, some couch potatoes, talking USC football. Let's get right into it, Sam. USC this season, 5-7. Is it a total loss?
Obviously, 5-7 is not a good record for the fans to look at. A lot of displeasement. However, JT Daniels did have a good developmental freshman season. He had actually better numbers than Matt Barkley did, the last true freshman to start.
So taking a look at some of these losses, 7 losses for USC during the year, but there was more losses of seniors graduating. Who exactly is the biggest loss?
Well, he had a lot of losses on defense due to graduating, but the biggest one is definitely Cam Smith. He's the captain, he's the signal caller, and he leads the defense in every way. So that's definitely the biggest loss.
Taking a look at the head coaching staff, Helton suspected to bring somebody in. Who is your top pick in terms of the coaching staff to bring in for USC?
Well, I think it's got to be Michigan's Don Brown. He had the #1 defense in the country this season. They're just coming off a big loss to Ohio State, the rivalry game. So with the extra money from not firing Helton, I think that's the right choice.
Thanks so much, Sam. That's it from the couch. We're going to toss it now to some USC basketball. And much like my CD player in 5th grade, Usher was all you could hear. The same situation happened on Sunday night as an Usher, that being Jordan Usher, was lighting it up for USC men's basketball. Rakosovic and Usher were working their pick-and-roll magic all day Sunday. Usher with a 3-pointer from downtown. That one was good. Taking a look at this crossover. Look at that. Up and under for 2. Then Rakosovic with the one-hand slam-a-jamma. That one was good. And then look at this. Rakosovic to Usher. Usher with the 2-hand jam. USC with the win, 90-75. Taking a gander at Usher's stats, the sophomore forward was Antarctic in his past 2 games, scoring just 2 points and attaining 5 fouls. Then last night, he exploded, 22 points on 8 for 11 shooting. Rakosovic, meanwhile, who was a secondary forward last year under Chimezie Metu, has shined, double-doubles on plenty and more blocks than a Lego set. Rakosovic should have a great senior year coming up. Much like my hand-me-down Rose Art markers in my 7th grade English class, the USC women's basketball team is also streaking right now after winning each of their 6 games this season. Just like her brother Shaquan, Shalexis Aaron with a 3-pointer from the far side. That was good. Take a look at this up and under bucket. Then you take a look at Aaron from the far side. That 3-pointer, nothing but net. USC with the big win, 72-51. In their 6 games this year, the team has averaged 74 points offensively and allowed just 48 points defensively per game. They have stomped opponents, including an 82-39 victory over UC Santa Barbara a week and a half ago. In their past 3 games, Shalexis Aaron, Minion, and her sister Mariah Moore, and Cheyenne Wallace have all been big scores for the women of Troy. Guys, also a big meet for USC swim and dive at Texas.
Yeah, that should be exciting already. Thank you so much,
Thank
Kate.
you. Thank you, Keith. In the words of Marilyn Monroe, give a girl the right pair of shoes and she'll conquer the world.
Up next, the story of how Monroe's ideals withstand the test of time.
Guys, honestly, 5 more minutes. Like.
迷惑ボーイ。ここはなんとかしなくちゃ。
スーパーカインドの交通機関案内。
I see you blocking the aisle. That's a rude thing to do. This causes problems because people can't get around you. So when you bring your things like bags or luggage, put them in the proper place. That's metro etiquette. When you're on the train, you need to leave some space so we can go about our day. Don't block the doors or block the aisles. That is not okay. You need to leave some space, so can you please get out the way? Leave some room for the rest of us.
Marilyn Monroe died over 50 years ago, but she remains an iconic figure. Annenberg Media's Kristen Varden spoke to a historian about how Monroe maintains her iconic status.
She still shines on Hollywood, like the diamonds that she once sang about. Hollywood is still mad about Marilyn Monroe more than 50 years later. Devoted fans have flocked to the Paley Center to see her vintage photographs, film costumes, and other personal items before they are auctioned off.
It's the first thing I think people think around the world when they're thinking about Hollywood glamour. She's one of the first names that comes to mind.
As you can see by Marilyn's leotard and gentlemen prefer blondes, she was known as this iconic sultry symbol in Hollywood. What most people don't know about her is she was very dedicated to her work as an actress.
She's had such a bubbly personality on screen, but there was so much study behind that. You know, all of the acting classes that she took, how serious she was about her craft.
Some would say that craft was highlighted by an impeccable wardrobe. Fashion historian Kimberly Truler is a style expert on the 7-year Itch star. We are right outside of the Culver Hotel, which was one of Marilyn's hot spots, so I feel like her spirit is out here with us right now.
She is here. She's photogenic beyond belief, and she was very comfortable in front of the camera, even when she was basically a teenager and doing bathing suit modeling shots. And then she developed that look at 20th Century Fox, which has become so iconic, whether it's, you know, the pink dresses that she became popular for.
But don't let the pink dress or light locks fool you, because there was more to Marilyn than met the eye.
Her persona became that dumb blonde, and it was, you have to give her some credit.
And in the era of the hashtag Time's Up movement, Marilyn's feminist ideals still stand the test of time.
She really also took charge of her career in a way that a lot of actresses at the time didn't have the opportunity to do because of the studio system or because of the patriarchal attitudes in Hollywood.
Hollywood Auction House Profiles in History will be selling the Marilyn memorabilia December 11th. The items can now be bid online. For Annenberg Media, I'm Kristen Vartan.
What a great story. Now, before we leave, this is our last Monday show the entire semester. We've enjoyed bringing the news to you, and we'd also like to congratulate our sports anchor, Keith Demolder. He is now employed, working in Missoula, Montana. Is that a tear? Oh.
Hey. Keith, we are so proud of you, so deserving. Really great.
All right.
Definitely miss you guys.
Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News on Mondays this entire semester. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Trevor Sochocki.
And I'm Nikki Walker. You can watch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. Good night.